Hello, fellow consumers. This time I am excited to have the opportunity to talk to you about corporate sponsorships and how they seem to be everywhere, which is great. Dynamicism. Innovationary. Begin the conference call. If adverts are self-contained pieces of media aimed at selling you something, corporate sponsorships are when things that aren't actually anything to do with the sponsor receive goods or services for advertising the sponsor. There are many different things that do this. People, houses, roads, cars. What else do you think is out there? Nothing but sweat and pain and cruelty and cluster bombs and acid rain and George Clooney. Nipples for men. Slugs.
Shabby chocolate rain. This internet thing is wild.
Well, we're all very familiar with corporate sponsorships. The celebrity endorsement is a thing of Western tradition now.
The first month's premium is free. You get a free pen just for inquiring.
Does anyone expect Stranger Things not to sell us horse-grade pizza? Why would you call a sports stadium something mundane and unprofitable when the Shintalo Chemical Warfare Division is willing to pay millions of dollars to name it after them? Why have all boring green grass when you can spray logos on it for beer? Why have plain sports shirts when you could be selling Chupa Chups? Frankly, I'm not sure why if you have a shirt with Vodafone written across it, you don't just change your name to Vodafone United. The Volkswagen Wanderers, the Gillette Knicks, Amazon Sporting Unit 54, they play through halftime. It's not really anything to do with trying to sell it to you directly, whatever it is. Everyone knows what Coca-Cola is and the acidic mouthfeel and furry teeth it offers, but they want people thinking about it, and ideally thinking about it in association with things they find positive. Chances are, if you're watching Season 7, Episode 31 of My Friendly Family Quirky Friend Group, you already like it. And if a little product placement comes in, no harm done. Ideally for the sponsor, a positive, subconscious association is made. You're like Adam Sandler, right? You're like McDonald's, Snack Packs, Subway, KFC, Pizza Hut, Twinkies, Dunkin'. You like them all. They all taste great. Down here, we all float. The reason it is so ubiquitous, of course, is money. Georgie Three Boys was paid over $137 million in 1999 for selling the rights to put his name and happy smiling face on a grill. A grill with a grease trap. 50 Cent was paid between $50 to $100 million in around 2007 for vitamin water. Like, do you think 50 Cent has ever tasted that? Beyoncé, a singer, $50 million for Pepsi in 2012. David Beckham, $150 million for a lifetime sponsorship for Adidas. George Clooney, Mr. Good Cause, selling out to Nestle for $40 million. Hey George, hey George, hey George, you're an asswipe. But really, this is old news. Oh yeah, the people who pursue fame and fortune are really greedy. Big surprise. And really, is there anything wrong with George Foreman selling his name and face to the George Foreman Grill? Not really. Is there anything wrong with the big landmark stadium changing its name from the This Is Where We Are stadium to La Big Mac La Stadion? It's money for nothing, money that would be not in existence without that, I guess. Think of all the economic space there is of people not putting sponsors on their foreheads. In the future, we'll be like, God, what a lost opportunity. But I digress. What was I going to say? Something about That isn't really the problem. That's it. Tentacles. Tentacles wrapped around meat puppets. It's worse. That'll do that take. Well, call my agent then! Now with the celebocrats selling teeth whitener, so too are all the people who are meant to be bedroom independents. Once, the internet offered normal people a chance to be heard. Possibly, perhaps. Now it offers a place to orally praise products while looking dead into the camera and trying not to retch. Hey guys, even if they hadn't sponsored me, I'd read their script flawlessly for 90 seconds anyway. It is very difficult to conduct research without funding from someone who has an axe to grind. And more that axe belongs to Johnny Pinstripe. In the USA, 70% of all clinical trials are industry funded by people who have a very strong interest in framing research in a specific way, and not publishing any research they don't want to, for any reason. Again, in the half-mass nation, critically underfunded schools often turn to corporate sponsorship to plug holes in their budgets. Adverts for Pepsi in the hallways and fast food days once a week are somehow not only legal, but just looked past by society as being normal. The prison phone industry earns about $1.2 billion a year from charging exorbitant fees for prisoners to talk to their families. $40 for as many minutes of screen time. Private companies split these fees with state and local authorities and get to operate a telecom monopoly. Prison, sponsored by Securus Technologies, owned by a private equity firm. But one of the best examples of the insidious reach of corporate sponsorships is how Pepsi and Coca-Cola sponsored 96 national health organizations between 2011 and 2016, an effort in addition to lobbying. A number of these health organizations have since backed away from conversations about soda restriction policies or the ridiculous amount of sugar in Pepsi or Coke, and others have even partnered with soda companies to produce education materials that downplay the health cost of sugar-filled soda. We're talking here about public health companies and non-profits like Harvard Medical School and the American Medical Association that are basically on the take. In a society developed around exponential growth of its economy, nothing matters but money. It couldn't be any clearer. They'll build plastic domes to live under before they give you a free lunch. None of this really matters, and I'm shouting into the wind. It's not so much that I resent corporate sponsorships generally as much as I resent corporations entirely. You know, talk about Coca-Cola and Pepsi funding research into, oh well, soda doesn't make you that fat. Oh, they've done far worse than that. Coca-Cola you can directly link to killing union leaders in Latin America, and they are nowhere near the worst company. No, not even the top 100, probably. The abuse is just endless. But we all know that, don't we? Yes, I do mind, actually. I don't want to see any of your advertisements or sponsorships, much less be reminded that you, or your decraniumed corpo ilk, even exist. Stick it up your ass. Even with my tune-out frequency, I resent how much real estate, how much bandwidth it has taken on my brain radio. / housing market. On my brain housing market radio. You know what I mean. The free world is owned, the future is payment, the consequences are many, and with that, let me tell you all about my favorite brands. H&M, Primark, Nike, Adidas, Gap. They're all slavers. They use child labor. 250 million children in sweatshops working 16 hours a day. All for you to flaunt around your camel toe. You morally derelict cow and titwank. Perhaps. Hasbro and Disney are at it too. The factories in China that churn out their toys stick people 8 in a room to live and have them working 175 hours overtime every month. For a pittance. So you can play with fucking He-Man! DuPont, 3M, Dow, you are all a shower of shit who have poisoned locals and much of the world over decades because of your negligence. Something like 99% of people in the Western world have Teflon in their blood. You should have been star-chambered a long time ago when the executives got rich. Monsanto, if some of our seeds blow into your field, we'll sue you in the face. Heroes they are. Absolute heroes. Monsanto, welcome to my bar. It's called the Chainsaw and Mop, and I have a very special room for you downstairs. Please come this way. Giles, not now. Giles, not now. These are the Monsanto people. That's right. Look how happy he is that you're here. We're going to have a great time. Dole Fruit Company, United Fruit Company, Exxon, Apple, Meta, Daddy Google. Let's just do whole industries, the car industry, aerospace, the pharmaceutical industry, the education industry, the banking industry. Everything, all of it. The people who make squeegees, lead, aspic, carpets. Those little things that go me, 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 and are made out of rubber. Do you ever think that all of the economy is just absolute bullshit? I mean, not that there isn't, value exactly. Like, people are willing to pay, so that's what it costs. But just in terms of, producing meaningful things, not things that people will pay for, but actual meaning things. Like, is human progress this? Just that we're going to just continue to make shit? What did you do in your life? Got a job, bought shit, died, made and spent quite a bit of money, did my bit, helped my economy, did my bit, got a mortgage, got credit, got debt, paid it off, accrued interest, accrued a good standing with my bank, did my bit. Now, I'm going to go and eat dinner. See you later. By the way, Atlas VPN, please stop contacting me. I don't know what you think about my channel would be a great fit. Fuck you.